Good morning, Mr. President, Mr. General Secretary, fellow delegates, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Emily Kim. Thank you for your time today. My topic is emotive and an important one that speaks of animal testing. I'm sure many of you have a pet at home that you love. Imagine if instead your dog, instead of at home, was placed in a steel cage, stuck with needles, put through unnecessary surgery, and force-fed chemicals. A horrible thought, isn't it? But it goes on all over the world, so we all need to open our eyes to the cruelty and suffering of these animals. I'm here today to ask you to develop a framework for animal rights. As humans, we have rights, but animal rights have been ignored greatly, even though we expect them to help us in dangerous situations such as in war, to find bombs and to find smuggled drugs. For many years, we have used guide dogs and hearing dogs. It seems to be unfair that these loyal animals serve us faithfully and yet have very little legal protection. At least 20 million animals are used annually in experiments. 15 million in drug testing, 5 million in cosmetic testing. Bans have been put in place in much of the EU on testing cosmetics on animals. In fact, in 2002, after 13 years of discussion, the EU finally agreed to bring a near total ban on the animal tested cosmetics in the EU by 2009, and to ban all cosmetic-related animal testings. This has been a huge step forward, and we would like the UN to agree to bring in such a ban in all its member states to stop all animal testings for cosmetics. I would ask you to think, when you next use shampoo, would you want to use a product known a defenseless animal had it forced into their eyes, causing immense pain? When it comes to animal testing for new drugs, we realize it's much more complicated. We would like the UN to agree to setting up a much wider framework to protect animals used in drug testing, to limit the numbers used, and to force drug companies to invest money into researching other ways of testing. Also, to follow the lead of Holland and New Zealand by banning invasive experiments on the great apes. The need for this has been highlighted recently in the US, when the largest primate research faculty was charged with breeding chimps illegally for research. If the new Iberia Research Center is found guilty, the implications could be dramatic for testing on these animals. We need to make sure that any animal testing is carefully watched and the animals are treated kindly. It is a subject which will always need revisiting. But we need the UN to act now and to bring in 1. A complete ban on cosmetic testing on selling any animal tested products in member states. 2. A standard framework for any needed testing on animals. 3. Banning testing on certain classes of primates, such as great apes. This is something which should concern us all. Thank you for your attention.